Hi, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. Just to confirm if you can all hear me, can you kindly leave a message or a thumbs up, an emoji, if you can see and hear me right now? Got it. Thank you, Oloyede. Thanks, everyone. So we'll just give other attendees about 2 more minutes to join in, and we'll kickstart the webinar by 4 or 5. Thank you all for joining in promptly. It means a lot to us. Okay, so it's exactly 4:05 p.m. So we'll just get started. Once again, I'd like to welcome you all to today's webinar. No, I'm not your host, I'm not a panelist. However, I work with the growth marketing team at Duplo, and I have the honor of welcoming you all today, and also thanking you as well as the speakers and the moderator for accepting our invitation and taking our time today to join us. As we all know, finance and automation in general has been impacting the business landscape, and organizations in Nigeria and on the continent are embracing more of software and tools to help streamline their processes. We have the honor of hosting this webinar today in collaboration with Duplo and the Evolving CFOs community, and to help you understand better how you can implement this within your organization, and also to learn more about the propelling power of automation as a finance professional. The questions we're going to be answering revolve around how you as a finance professional can leverage on automation tools for your personal growth, and how you can use this within your organization. So we have with us here today Obayemi Timitokwe, who will moderate the panel discussion. We have Jide Aminu, we have Simba Iko, we have Rahul Javud. I'll let Timitokwe do more of the introduction because she's the moderator. However, once again, I would like to thank you for joining us this evening. I am Bisola, in case I forgot to mention that. And hi, Timitokwe.
Hi, Bisola.
So I'll just hand over to you now. I'm looking forward to an insightful discussion.
Very well. All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Timitokwe Obayemi, and I'll be moderating the session on harnessing the power of automation for growth. It is no longer news that technology has come to stay. It is so amazing how technology has practically changed everything. Human activities have been greatly optimized and disrupted by technology. Automation, which is a remarkable offshoot of technology, is a rapidly growing trend that is transforming the way we work, from manufacturing to customer service to healthcare to so many industries, amongst others. Automation has provided businesses with immense potential for growth, efficiency, and innovation. Indeed, automation is a game changer. So we are gathered here today to explore the vast opportunities that automation offers and to also delve into the strategies that can help organizations harness this power effectively. We have the privilege of hearing from our esteemed panelists who are experts in their respective fields, and they have first-hand experience in harnessing the power of automation for growth. They'll be sharing with us their insights, experiences, and success stories. They'll also be providing us with valuable knowledge and practical guidance. So ladies and gentlemen, if you are ready, let's get started. All right. So let's meet our panelists in no particular order. Our first panelist for today is Jide Aminu. Jide Aminu is a seasoned finance and strategy professional with 15 years of experience in telecoms, technology, and financial services in Nigeria and the United States. His expertise encompasses capital raising, capital planning, restructuring, business transformation, financial control and management, and new revenue development. Jide is a chartered accountant and he holds a bachelor's degree in economics as well as an MBA from the Fuqua School of Business at Duke University. Jide has also had significant roles in his career, including Director of Corporate Development and Strategy at Kasi Cloud, where he played a pivotal role in establishing the company's operation in Africa and the construction of the first hyperscale cloud data center in Nigeria. He has also worked at Zenith Bank, PwC, Financial Services as a portfolio manager at Kaizen Venture Partners, contributing to the establishment of One Credit, now called Carbon Digital Bank. Currently, Jide serves as the CFO at Remoney, the largest pure-play retail lender and a leading digital banking group in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Jide Aminu. I'm clapping for you if you can see me. Our next panelist, she's a highly accomplished financial controller at a prominent venture capitalist firm in Africa. With a solid background in finance, she possesses a decade of experience in the field. Simba is a distinguished chartered accountant with ACCA accreditation, showcasing her expertise and commitment to the highest professional standard. Simba holds dual degrees in international relations and accounting, reflecting her diverse academic background. Her educational journey also includes the attainment of an MBA from Brigham University, further augmenting our financial acumen and strategic thinking abilities. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Simba Iko. I'm clapping my hands if you can see me. And finally, we have Daud Rao. He's a highly qualified and experienced finance professional with international exposure. Having worked across 6 different countries, that's a lot, including Nigeria, throughout his career, he has owned a broad and versatile skill set, encompassing risk management, compliance, auditing, accounting, forecasting, budgeting, and business partnering. This diverse expertise facilitated his transition into a leadership position in 2015, where he has since delivered exceptional results, including driving performance transformation and substantially increasing revenue within Nigerian markets. Having been based in various countries such as the UK, Middle East, Madagascar, and Southern Africa, he has had the opportunity to leverage his language skills in English, French, Arabic, and Danish, while gaining valuable insights into different working cultures. His roles have primarily focused on strategic planning, analysis, and reporting, as well as developing and reinforcing business strategies to support crucial decision-making processes. Additionally, he has a proven track record of reviewing existing procedures to identify and implement enhanced processes that eliminate inefficiency. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Daud Rao. Are you excited, just as I am? I love this audience. I want to see your clap. If you're as excited as I am, I want to see your clap. Otherwise, we'll not start. Let me see your clapping. Welcome, Jide. Welcome, Simba. Welcome, Raul. Hello, Jide. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
You're welcome. Hello, Raul. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well. Thank you for this warm introduction.
Simba, can you hear me as well?
Yes, sure, I can.
Good
Hi,
evening.
everyone.
Good
Good
evening. So
evening.
good to have you here. Are you ready to take it away? All right. So let's go straight into the panel questions. So my first question today is thrown to everyone on the panel. So my first question is, how have you seen automation transform organizations and drive growth in your field? So who's going first? Simba, you want to take it away?
Okay, that's fine. Well, yeah, the automation, as we all know, it's something usually when organizations are looking at automating their process.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a question of if automation will happen, at least for most, companies trying to make sure that their systems or processes or operate in an automatic way that they don't need to like monitor. It's more a question of how this
Mm-hmm.
is going to happen. And I've seen usually they are like the low hanging fruits that one would quickly grab, that I've seen in my career, automating like
Mm-hmm.
payroll, function, those ones to make it easy instead of using like spreadsheets to calculate payroll every month and then having issues back and forth. And then the bigger, another bigger package is like reporting. Reporting is something that's an accountant you're going to do every month, every quarter, in short, as the case may be, for management reports and all of that. And then maybe if you're working with a company that has maybe multiple subsidiaries, conglomerates, you also encounter consolidation like I have. And those are, you in making use of an, automated and of softwares to automate the consolidation process to make it very easy. And then another pain point that I have, used in my career is like employee expenses. Those ones, there are a lot and they're, endless and always coming. So I worked in organizations, initially where we've had to do like a lot of paperwork, especially when it comes to like expenses, and then moving to where, we see that this looking using paperwork here, of course, that's trying to have an adequate documentation and all of that, to using that just provide you what the paper, apart from just when you implement the softwares. I don't know if I'm allowed to to give examples. For example, maybe like Zoho, you implement a software like that. Once you just want to put through an expense, you have all the information that you ordinarily put on paper, including all the approvers and things like that. So yes, these are ways in which automation has like helped me in my career, and of course helped that has played out and also helped me to manage different aspects of finance, to just ensure that efficiency in the entire process, minimize errors, and just improve, even reduction of costs in terms of maybe manpower that you might need, back and forth, opportunity costs and all kinds of costs that may be associated with that, and having to address errors multiple times. So by the time you have a software that you're able to put through maybe your payroll, it's computes and you're able to see all of the deductions that you need. Another advantage that this has also helped me and can help other people is that, for example, you're working with an international firm, and you people have offices like across the globe, and maybe you, for example, you're looking at payroll, you have to compute payroll for several countries. I'm sure you may not know all the taxes of all of those entities, but being able to automate that process can help you to be able to keep track and look at how these deductions work, and so it helps you to also expand your reach. Temitoba, I hope I've
You
been able
said
to
a
address
lot.
the question.
Like
I
you've
didn't go
answered 10 questions in one. Thank you
I'm
so
sorry
much for
about
that
that. Yes.
interesting fact. Thank you so much. Jabu, did I get the name correctly?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
please take it
So
away.
I'm also with Simba, quite aligned with what you just said. It was quite interesting and packing a lot of information. I think she said it very well. It's not when, it's how, because things are moving on. The companies that are not moving into that direction will very quickly find themselves not able to compete in the markets. Yes, we are finance professionals, but we are supporting a business. And if we are not able to bring value to the business by putting more efficiency into it, then our businesses will fail very quickly. So I really would like to share really this message is it's not really the when, is the how, on how you are going to do it. I'm still very surprised when I go around in organization where, for example, my suppliers are still or my customers still asking me to drop their invoice in one specific office where I have to take someone, pay him the transport to go there, drop the invoice, and then have a stamp and have the receipt on all this wahala, where we are in the age where where I can send you an email and then you pay me directly, right? Or I can book my invoice directly into the system, to your system, and get paid.
Yeah.
I think those companies will really struggle in a near future if they don't address their way of working. So I think this is really my view. And then there's a lot of area where automation needs to be addressed. But I guess it's one of your next question. So maybe Jide can give us a view.
Yes, Jide, what's your thoughts? How have you seen automation transform organization and drive growth in your industry?
Yeah, so there are different perspectives, right? Different organizations have seen different stages of the journey. Some at the very high end where they are deep into automation, and you have some at the at the beginning stages where at least the invoices are no longer dropped in the box like Yahoo said, but now you can email it as an attachment.
Yeah.
And for the guys at the other spectrum, right? As two ERPs are integrated, I click push, it automatically drops into your position, right? It goes and books a receivable from my end, and once you accept it, a payable is booked on your own ERP, and there is really no human intervention, right?
Wow.
So I've seen all sorts, but yeah, like everybody said, it's more about the how. If there's anything that anybody will take away at this forum, is how, in the sense that I've seen a lot of people try to automate processes that are fraught with errors. If you have a weak process and you're trying to automate it, you're just automating all the errors and all the inefficiencies. And the problem with that is once you automate at scale, you're replicating errors on a large scale. So before we start talking about automation, we have to talk about process first. Are the process efficient? All the controls that are expected to be embedded in the process, are they adequate? Are they effective? Then you take all of that, right, and you automate it. And even when you do that too, right, part of the how is, are you going back to check? Because before you realize that an error that you automate, before you have that realization, you will know that you've processed thousands of invoices, same error. How do you go back and start auditing? And if you've done integration at scale where your APIs are available to other suppliers, vendors, and etc., now you have to start calling them when they're trying to fix errors. Your systems and all of that. So yeah, it can become messy really quickly if you don't do it well. So yes, I echo everybody's thoughts about the how.
I like that perspective. Now, speaking of processes, how would you describe the impact of automation on financial processes in recent years? Jide, yeah.
Okay, so I think we're getting somewhere thanks to the emergence of cloud. I think more now with AI, there's a lot more awareness about the power of cloud. When I say cloud in this sense, it's not anything complex. It's the usual SharePoint, right? If you're using Microsoft Suite or Google Drive, yeah, and yeah. So I've seen people starting to whether it's just make sure that document is not going by attachment, right? It's going via link person to person, and you can build a sort of a simple workflow around it. So I think we're seeing the emergence of that across businesses. I can't speak too well for some of in the Nigerian context, the big corporations. But I think with a lot of the small to medium-sized emerging companies, there's a lot of automation because we are not setting up the way the old companies set up. So if you think about it from a financial services, we're not building branches all over the country. We're just taking one office and automating a lot of features, right? So there's a lot of reliance on cloud from that perspective. Yeah, I'll pause there for now. Maybe when we go around, then I can chip in more if there. So I don't say speak.
Thank you for sharing that insight, right? So for Simba, for small businesses and startups with lean teams, how can the financial controller or the CFO or the finance manager leverage automated processes? Simba, can you hear me? Sure.
I can hear you.
I also can hear you.
Yeah, I think Simba's camera is frozen.
Okay, Jao, do you mind taking that up? How can small businesses and startup with lean teams, very small team, how can the financial manager or the CFO or the chief accountant, how can it drive automation? How can it influence the organization to automated processes?
I think.
Okay, I think she's back.
Yeah. Okay, so I think it makes even more sense for small company to automate. Yeah, Simba. Yeah, so
yeah, I can hear you.
I think our network is
so well. Automation, they can leverage. Hello. Oh, hi.
Hi, Simba. We are here.
But okay.
Did you get my last question?
Yeah, I got your question. I was answering it. But it looks like the rest of you stopped hearing me.
But we can hear you now.
All right. Okay. All right then. Yes. So one of the ways they can leverage it is by way of partnerships. That's one way small businesses can, because as a small business, you may not have a lot of manpower, but there could also be a lot of work in trying to, take the company, trying to grow this company, trying to, achieve growth. So getting a partnership, a strategic partnership could be helpful. Maybe a partnership with with a company like Duplo, depending on what their services may be, that could help them manage and simplify their payments. So it's like outsourcing, some of that function just to smoothing things over. And then they could also just find a way to automate their reporting. Like I said, it's very important. There are softwares that are able to, if you have maybe a software that you post your transactions, there are certain softwares that can generate reports for you. So this could help you to also review whatever work you're doing to see based on the reports that are being generated if you're in line. So this is something that the small business could also quickly take advantage of. They'll also have to find a way to like automate their budgeting and their forecasting. And then automating may not necessarily mean buying a new software or things like that, because if every single time you have to do that, you might probably end up with many softwares anyways. So maybe you could just automate the process even in your Excel sheet, as long as you have a good knowledge of how it works, you could just find a way to automate some of those things, so that once changes are being made to sheet, it's automatic that you're able to see certain projections based on how you have designed it. And then of course there are other things that I've even mentioned before that is very important for small businesses, for a small business to to take care of. Things like payroll also, very important. And then if they are able to have any way of automating their data. Now, if you depending on what you use, if you use Google, let's say for maybe marketing purposes, you are able to like generate insights and all of that. But there are also other platforms that you could use to generate those insights. So they're very helpful. Instead of having somebody track all those key insights, trying to make meaning out of it, you find a platform that is able to automate this, so that you're able to see your numbers and see, which of this marketing campaign or whatever is hitting the right numbers, which one is giving you the returns that you are looking at, where do you need to push more, where do you need to push less. So all of these things really go a long way to make things easier for small businesses, especially because they may not have certain strengths that a big business will have, especially in terms of resources.
Thank you so much for sharing that. If you are working in a startup or you own a startup business, I hope you are learning. You have your notes here, because Simba has given us a lot of insights. All right, so my next question is to Jaho. And the question is, in industries where automation is relatively new or unfamiliar, what steps can businesses take to overcome resistance or skepticism from employees and to ensure a smooth transition to automated processes?
Thank you for the question. I have a quite extensive experience in a transport and logistic industry, which is a very, very manual and non-automated industry at large. And I think the real step to take is slowly but surely make sure everyone understands the final objectives, what we are trying to achieve and why we are trying to achieve it. Then communicate very, very clearly those goals and make sure everyone see value out of them. But there is also something that is very, very important, is to drive the knowledge and the ability and competency of people. Because you will often see that people are scared because they don't really know what must be done and how this will impact their role and responsibility in the future. We have quite a good example here where we have plus minus 300 trucks, which means 300 drivers that we need to pay almost on daily basis or every time that they start a trip. So the process that we were running before is when the truck is loaded, it needs to go to see the cashier, wait, and get his money. And to reconcile this, it was quite an extensive work, because we never knew what was paid to where, to whom, and the driver, did he receive his money or not. And it was quite a time and resource consuming. I had 4 or 5 people that were running this process. And we decided that once all the payment will go automatically from our software connected to a platform like Duplo, where the drivers will receive instantly his money. As soon as the load or the truck is loaded, then the driver will receive his money. And this was quite a game changer, because the drivers didn't have to wait any further. As soon as he's loaded, the money receives the alert in his bank account to load, which basically cut 2 or 3 hours of waiting, reconciliation, on all these things that we really don't want to see in finance. And then the process was quite time consuming to implement, but once implemented, everyone was very happy. The driver was very happy, as he didn't have to wait, he didn't have to go see his OGA to sign on all these things, which was quite a milestone on the make quite everyone happy. But the other change that we had to manage is the people that were doing these processes were left without a job, right? Because everything was happening directly on the. But this is where the importance of leadership come into play, is to say, okay, now that you are not doing transactional work, here's the new work that you will be doing. Your new work will be more around business partnering, cost savings, making sure that we are running compliance, making sure that we put the right control. And this shift of mindset in our people really needs to happen by the right upskill. Now you are not processing data in the system, but what you are doing is taking a step up on looking at the processes at the whole and looking at where there is a gap. I had a very good example. One of my account payable came to me and said, Oga, now I don't have a job now. What am I going to do? I said, now you need to focus on cost savings. And your target will be to bring 10 million savings a month. And she was very not sure about it. But the reality is that after 1 month, she was able to bring more than 20 million savings to the company, which was quite significant. From the job of data processing to a job of cost savings with real result of 20 million a month that you can sustain over years, it's quite massive, because that person can come now to me and say, Jawad, this is my P&L, this is what I bring to the table. And this can happen only if you remove the transactional work from your desk and focus on more strategic part of your job, and trying to remove that transactional job is very important and can be done only through the right automation of our business processes. I think that those stories we have quite a lot, and I had quite a lot in my career that really bring value to the business. And when you go and see your MD as a finance, say, this month, this is my P&L. This talks more than anything else that we can do as a finance team, because at the end of the day, we are evaluated on our P&L, on our numbers, on the moving from transactional work, which is not adding value, to more value-adding work. This is where our real space is, I believe, as a finance. I all the time say to my guys, on everyone here, sometimes I laugh, but at the end I see that it's true. Finance must be the engine of an organization, and the engine cannot work if we spend all our time fixing basics, fixing, oh, this guy is not being paid. So this is the way I see it.
Yeah, the value that comes with automation is massive. It's very massive. And thank you so much for sharing that story. I mean, 10 million cost savings is a lot of money, a lot. Thank you so much for sharing that. I hope somebody has gotten something from this. Now, moving to Jide. Jide, can you share with us a personal story where automation significantly improved your productivity or allowed you to focus on more strategic initiatives? Hi, Jide. Is he here?
My bad. Okay.
Did you get the question?
I mean, yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the most basic automation that has made my life easiest, right, is just, a workflow. Let me start from my first time I ever experienced workflow. I was blown away. I was a youth corper in one of the Nigerian banks. I was asking someone, I need a staple pin. I can't find staple pin. They say, oh yeah, just order it. I'm like, order it from where? They say, yeah, go on the internet, click on the workflow, right? Trust me, in the next 30 minutes, somebody from admin would deliver a pin to your desk. I said, really? And I tried it, and a staple pin landed on my desk. I was blown away. I've never seen something like that in my life. Yeah. Fast forward to today, and to some of the, this also addresses the question about SMEs, simple automation of workflow of processes, right? Even if it's just a reminder for someone to do something, that's good enough for SME, because you're enjoying as an SMEpreneur, you're juggling so many balls. And if it's just a simple reminder to do something, that's enough automation for a startup, an SME to start with. But beyond that is day-to-day. I'm sure my colleagues on the call would agree that part of our work, half of our work is sitting in meetings. Sometimes as a coach, sometimes I'm just a doorkeeper. And while you're sitting in those meetings, financial activities are happening. Records are being updated per second. There are approvers on your desk. Like Jawu said, you have to pay all of these drivers, and they're waiting on you before the trucks can move, right? And you're sitting at your desk, you're sitting in a meeting. Have your computer or your phone in front of you. There's a lot of quick approval that can land on your desk, and you can click on the button and payments are made. So, like I said before, just simply using any of the Office suites, either Google or Microsoft SharePoint, right? You could literally automate your approval process. Yeah. And that makes my life easy. I do not longer have to create 30 minutes to now start going through my email to see, okay, who wants approval, and start responding one by one. Because at the moment you request for something, it pops up on my device. And I can click accept, reject, approve, deny, and move on. So while I'm sitting in my meeting, it makes my life easy. I can go. For people that work in larger traditional environments, you only get approval from CEO and CFOs after like 8 p.m. When the activities of the day have come to an end, they have peace and quiet, they can look at their emails. And you can imagine the amount of opportunities, the delay, because something should have approved at 12 noon, you're approving at 9 p.m. That means the person that you're approving for is tomorrow before they're going to work on it. That means your truck, in Jahud's case, truck cannot move until tomorrow morning. Whereas simple automation can get that thing in your, whether you're in Kano, whether you're in China, or wherever you are, right? It can land in your inbox. So I think that's one of my favorite things. Beyond that, yes, there are other ways that automation has helped my work, especially in the robotics side of things, right? We thought there's so many tools out there for data analysis, right? You can also install robots all over your database that can build reports for you.
Wow.
So if there are reports that you want to see daily, hourly, you put in a robot there that generates a report and sends to your phone every hour, periodically, as you said it. You don't need to call anybody and say, hey, can I have that report? Nope. Right? So all of those things are ways that it's made my life super easy. If I need a custom report, again, as much as you can, the specific queries and filters, instructions you can give to the robot. Those are different ways that automation can help your life. As a CFO, as an executive, everything is available at your beck and call, including data extraction. Robots can do those things for you. You only have analysis there to make sure it's accurate, it's complete, right? And it serves the purpose for which you need them. So
quite interesting. Yes, so I would like to say that. So I understand that majority of people that are here are finance people, they are in the financial service sector. So now, how can we as finance professionals, how can we leverage automation to enhance our role in strategic business partnering and advisory so that we can contribute to the organization? Just like Jawu said, that we should move from non-value adding activities to value adding activities. So what advice would you give to we finance professionals? What can we do to do this?
I think first of all is a mindset. You need to have a partnership mindset. As we can see, the trend is changing in our landscape. CFOs are now CFOs used to be CEOs' best friends, right? In the traditional sense of business. But for the evolving CFO world, the chief information officer is your your best buddy, aka the tech guy, tech as we all call it. That's the person that is your best buddy, because technology is like a train that is moving and it's going to run over anything that is not moving as fast as it is. So what you need to move fast is to be best buddies with your technology person. That way you can learn a lot more about how technology can help with business processes. Technology can help with operational efficiency. Then once you have that mindset and you become best friend with your CIO, then the rest shall be added on today, right? Because you have a better understanding, right? All the argument about budget and investment in automation becomes a lot easier. You can now say, okay, I know the value. I know how this thing is going to pay back over the next 3, 4, 5 years, and it's going to impact my bottom line, right? I can see how this will help my my team, my teammates, the staff, to be more efficient at their work. And these are the things that enables remote work and make remote work even easier. Then, of course, once people are happy, they're not overworked, they're not doing manual work, labor, then you have a happy employee and they'll deliver for you. So you can see how really having the mindset as a CFO will really help in driving performance across the organization. And guess what? Then the head of HR will be your best buddy because you're making life easy for them. People are working. Then the usual head button between CFO and everybody, then it goes away because you've made life easy for everybody. Yeah. So rather than be the guy that stops the show in the business, you're the guy that everybody's running to because now you've embraced, the technology mindset. You're thinking of ways to use the drive efficiency. If you have efficiency, then your bottom line, which is what we are chasing, right? You start to see things drop in the bottom line, and as CFO, you can shine, and you can make everybody around you happy.
Right. Thank you, Jide, for sharing. I sincerely appreciate that perspective. Jao, you want to add to that?
Yeah, no, I think I fully agree on the line with what he said. I think one of the things that the most finance professionals that I've seen or coached or guided through the career is how to move from a pure finance accounting mindset that when we go out from school, we are trained as a good accountant, as a good finance controllers, but we are not really trained as being a business partner. And I think this is maybe one of the biggest challenge that we have as a finance people is to define ourselves not anymore as a pure accountant sitting in our desk, but really as a business partner. And there is something that I shared quite often with my team is how to move through a business partner. And I think there is some skill that I apply. The first thing is that you need to get your data correct. When your data is correct, then you can move to build a report, have the right report sent to your business. Then from report, you are able to move to the next step, which is having your right analysis. What is going up, what is going down. From your analysis, when you get your analysis right, then you can be able to provide insight of what is happening to the business. Why is it going down? What is it going up? From there, being able to influence the business. Let's buy from this supplier. Let's get more of these customers. Let's increase our rates. And then being able really to impact by driving the agenda of the business. But this scale or framework, I think, is one of the best that I've seen, being able to move from controlling the data, controlling your reports, being able to share the good analysis, share the right insight, being able to sit and influence the people until driving the business to have a proper impact from finance. So it's not easy, but I think from a finance perspective, I do believe in the next coming years, most of the, I'll say, accounting job will disappear, and what will stay is the what is more enjoyable is to drive the business performance through finance.
Right, beautiful. Thank you so much. So we quickly want to have an icebreaker session. Hello to my audience. Are you still here with us? If you are here, let me see your fire emoji in the comment section. Let me see your fire emoji if you are here with us. I am not seeing fire. We will not continue. Do you want us to pause or you are enjoying this session? Okay, keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it coming. Fire, 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 fire. Thank you so much. I can see you, Moyeni, Muyiwa Johnson, Clementina, Ibukun. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So let's quickly take a poll. We want to know your.
We are in a digital workshop, and I don't know how to put the fire now. I'm really struggling with these things.
Jawadi, you have to automate it.
So I think I started to be the old guy in the room now.
It's very simple. Okay, let's launch the poll so we can get our. There we go. We have our poll. Which area of finance or automation are you most interested in learning or implementing for your organization? And the second one is, which of these account payable challenges do you face the most? So we have our poll.
Madam, you cannot vote.
No, you can't. Okay. Can we see the result of our poll? No, not yet. Okay, let's just give by 4:53, just 2 minutes. Just 1 more minute and we are done with our first poll of the day. Okay. Can we have our results, please? INEC, can you show us our results? Okay, interesting. Which area of finance automation are you most interested in learning or implementing for your organization? 11% of the people said automated invoice processing. 6% said streamlined expense management. 9% said automated account payables. Nobody chose RPA. Wow, interesting. 17% said budgeting and forecasting. And 57% said financial analytics and reporting. That's interesting. Interesting to know that everybody wants to automate their reporting process. But really, speaking about financial analytics and reporting, can a robot comply with the requirements of IFRS and the rest if we are to automate our financial reports? Jide, Jao, and Simba, what would you say to that?
I thought it was already proven that ChatGPT did not pass.
Exactly. So accountant, you
pass
can't run
CPA.
away from it. Sorry to bust your
Yeah.
bubble. You can't get 100%. So the question, the second post says that which of these account payable challenges do you face the most? Manual data entry, missing incorrect invoices, obtaining approvals, maintaining paper-based records, slow and inefficient processing. So what's the highest? Okay. Data entry and inefficient processing. Wow. Anyways, just like Simba said earlier today, you should automate your account payables, payroll. I mean, the routine tasks, basically, should get them automated. And if you don't know how to do it, just like she has advised, go into strategic partnership. You can employ someone, a company like Duplo. I think that's what they do. You can employ them and they'll get it done for you. So without further ado, let's go into our second phase. Meanwhile, if you have a question, please feel free to drop your question in the comment section. We will take it as we proceed. If you have any thoughts, you want to share your thoughts, you want to share your opinion, you have any submission, feel free to drop it in the comment section and we will take it as we proceed. So we have a question here from Chidima. She says, hi everyone, sometimes when automation is being introduced, it makes a particular process more efficient. It could be met with resistance from the staff or team members. My question is, how do you introduce or encourage the team to allow for the new process or other method? Thank you. So this is from Chidima. And I think I asked the question about resistance, how you can ensure that everyone is carried along. And I think Jao said that you should communicate the objective to everyone, make sure everybody's aware why we are doing what we are doing, tell them the benefits. Okay, if we do this, this is what we stand to gain. Does anybody want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I think also the tone from the top is very, very important. Hi, Chidima. Yeah, the tone from the top is very, very important. So if you see the leadership, the managing directors still enjoy signing papers, then good luck to move to any transformation. If he still have his pen here now and he wants to see everything on sign, it's going to be very difficult for you to move. But I think if the management is on board, communicating the right objective, getting everyone on board on upskilling the people, I think are the things that are quite key.
Yeah, that I agree with Joe about that. That yes, definitely getting management buy-in is very important because if they don't show seriousness towards it, and then most times even in the workplace, people still react very well to reward and punishment.
Yeah.
As we said, so when management shows that okay, they're interested and if management is interested, ultimately people would know that they may be given leeway, understanding, patience, but if they don't comply, there may ultimately be some penalties to that effect. So it helps, people to get on board. And generally, as an individual, you also have to be patient. I've had those kind of experiences, especially if maybe you're joining new and you're this new person trying to like turn everywhere upside down with these changes. So you just have to really be patient with people and, try to, of course, you train them, upskill them, and then you'll be patient, guide them, give people a grace period and be very hands-on in supporting them through this transformation, through this process. So all of these things, help people gradually, even if they are very reluctant, even if some way they have been benefiting from the way things have been, and it just makes it easier for them when they see that, oh, they understand the objective of this is clear, that it's very beneficial to the growth of the company. It's beneficial even to the staff. They can see how. They see that management has bought into this, and they see your commitment and your patience with them through this process. And after some period of time, any reasonable person would know that, oh, they've had enough leeway and they really need to just get on board if there are any people left behind. So some of this, yes, could help you when you want to bring something new on board. Yeah, people
Spot
can be
on.
resistant to
Spot on. Thank you, Simba. Jide, you want to add to that?
Thank you.
I think it depends. Everything that the other speakers have said is correct. It's just a matter of approach. The way I will go about it is the people who are likely to resist, they will be involved in the process to start with. That way, they feel carried along. And typically, you would what I would do when you're trying to make a change, whether it's automation or otherwise, is show an alternative path for the people that will be affected. If your work is accounts payable, taking out the invoices in the box and doing data entry and automating or scanning them, and we're automating that system, then I'll find an alternative purpose for you first. So, okay, how do you feel about doing X, Y, Z, right? And if they are buying into it, then goes, okay, the reason why is we are going to automate your work, but you can add value in this way or this way. Or, yes, system will do your work, but your role will now be to ensure, will be a control. You become a control mechanism, not a process. You used to be a process, now you're a control. Make sure the system is doing it accurately, is complete. The invoices are, valid, blah, blah, blah. Sort of teach the machine how to do the work, right? So that way you get the buy-in of those people before you you go ahead. And if it's such that you do not need any the people, right? C'est la vie. It's what it is. There are some roles that become obsolete, and the role becomes obsolete. Now it's left for the people, if you hire the right kind of people, to go improve themselves and be relevant in other areas. Right? I've seen people in the workplace, once their role is becoming phased out, they go learn courses and say, give me some time. Let me go be an intern in that place, learn how they do it while I study. Then I can transition to another role. Especially now that there's a high labor turnover. We all need people. So if you have a good person working for you, but their role has become redundant because of automation, if they're smart and they're happy to, to switch, then yeah. Because if their role is automated in your company, it will be automated elsewhere. So it's a cue for them to go learn new things. So even if they leave and go somewhere else, they will still enter the same, unless they go to a place where they are resisting technology or change. Exactly. So that's an opportunity to really help people transform their career. And this is where you need your, HR to really step in.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. So this next question is to everyone on the panel. So I want you to share with us your aha moment when you realized the transformative potential of automation in your current role, your aha moment. Chide, you want to start first?
Yeah, sure. I think my aha moment was, in fact, this was a discovery that I had when it was time to pay a bill. You know, I realized that apart from our head count, we had so many robots that we're paying for.
Tell us more.
So, like, wow, what are these? What is the payment for? I say, oh yeah, we have bot session. I'm like, what are those? Right. These are robots, as you call it, mini robots, planted in different areas, doing different things,
Wow.
functions that could have been done by human beings. I'm like, wow, okay. Shouldn't we be treating their cost as payroll?
What a discovery.
But yeah, so if you think about it, whether it's from a customer service, right? Yeah, these bots are doing different things for us. Whether it's just to queue, to direct phone calls, I just couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, really? And there were so many. It's the number that blew my mind. That was my wow moment. But yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Now I know that bots can be on payroll. Rahul.
No, I had many aha moments. I think the best ones are, or was most probably when we were able to process a payment instead of 4 or 5 hours, reduce it to, let's say, 5 minutes. And this was quite a massive achievement. We were able to do in 2 minutes what you used to take 4 or 5 hours moving between desks with papers and so on. I think this one was quite a aha moment. And maybe the second one, which I was not expecting, but at the end of the year, as finance people, we have our auditors coming, right? And you can do two things: either be chased or chase the auditors. So, and we're basically able to, in 5 minutes, give them all the information they need by simply going into a file, downloading it, and sharing them with the auditors, and let them do their work instead of being asked thousands of questions. They had everything at once because all our processes were automated and digitalized. I think that was quite a aha moment.
Interesting. Thank you for sharing. Simba.
Well, yeah, I've had a number of moments, like say. Well, one started from COVID-19, and it's just moving from the fact that I felt like if it was a finance document, it had to just be physically, filled out and submitted. So we could just do this over the system. We don't have to be in the office to do this, going fully remote kind of opened my eyes to things. Okay, what was the first step? But it doesn't have to be physically signed. And then moving from even preparing those vouchers to installing a system currently where I work, where these vouchers could automatically be generated just by the information I fill, or I could take my phone, scan a particular invoice, and it's going to automatically, prepare this voucher for me. So it's like, so I don't need to spend a lot of time trying to, fill out documents or even go through them, just how fast the invoices go through, because moving from where you have to invoices take maybe an average of 2 to 3 weeks to literally a few minutes to hours to just you're over and done with. So yeah, I'm like, okay, so it doesn't have to drag, it doesn't have to just take that long anyway. So yeah, this has been moments for me that I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And then of course, having softwares that are able to automatically, generate reports for me that I could also use to even checkmate myself. That too was another, important moment or aha moment for me.
Thank you, Simba, for sharing. Okay, before we go to our next question, I would like to say this. If you have any question or submission or opinion, feel free to use the comment section. Particularly for questions, we have the Q&A button. Ensure you use that to ask your question. Now, my next question is to everyone as well. Are there any regulatory or legal consideration that organizations need to be mindful of when implementing automation for growth? Are there any legal or regulatory considerations when it comes to automation? Simba, I'll start with you.
Sorry, can you come again?
Okay, so question is, are there any regulatory or legal considerations that organizations need to be mindful of when implementing automation for growth?
Okay. Yeah, sure. There are some things that you need to be mindful of in terms of maybe like compliance and ensuring that there's like you have a document that can be audited, because usually maybe if you're trying to automate your process, you could just there's maybe certain payments that you have to make every month, maybe like subscriptions, and then you find that the company card has been put on there, and then every month there's just an automatic deduction and all of that. Yes, so you have to ensure that you still have a keen oversight over these expenditures, and ensure that you're saving and documenting all of the invoices and receipts that are coming with this. And then in a situation where perhaps you're no longer using that service, you ensure to disconnect it, because I've also had that experience where over time, especially as organization is transforming, people are coming and going out, you find a truckload of things that are automated on the company card, some services that may be disused, that is possible to still be charged for. So yes, so even if you're going to automate, it's important that you still ensure that you're adhering to proper regulatory requirements, and of course there's proper audit trails for rates and all of that. And then of course also look at how your automation may affect your workforce, which you have already discussed. And anywhere, if there's going to be any potential job displacement, what are you going to do about it, possible litigation or what have you. And then of course data privacy, because with automation also you find maybe, sometimes you're trying to sign up something or log in, they say, do you want to log in using LinkedIn? Do you want to log in so you are sharing all of this data across different softwares, even when you're trying to, even for your company, you're trying to, maybe you have a software or you're trying to link your bank to, let's say, QuickBooks, for example, things like that. So you have to be very careful and not have access to your data, confidential information. So there's possibility of data breaches, privacy, invasions and all of that. So you have to, try to ensure that this access controls you're giving, that you look through it and ensure what permissions you're giving or not giving, and that whatever it is you're doing is in line with data protection regulation, because governments are obviously taking it seriously. Europe and maybe the rest of Western world have this in place. Even Nigeria, I think people just signed a data regulation bill or so. So these are things that are taken very seriously. So you could put your organization at risk with despite the fact that we want to automate. It's important to to still ensure that there is an oversight over all of this. They be mindful of the software, where it's coming from, its originality. Be mindful of what you're sharing. Be mindful of access controls, from the company and even within. Be mindful of people that this may be in, this may be impact, these changes may impact, and what measures they could possibly take, So even if you want to ease them out, how are you going to manage that? That's, part of the things that you're going to take into consideration. Be mindful of incurring costs that you may no longer need. Like I had to do a software audit. Basically go through all the software that we have and sit with the CTO. What do we need? What do we not need? It looks like, we're getting these charges. Who use, and then even as you have maybe these cards, you have to be sure how it goes around and, whether it's going to be per employee or just one business card. And so when you even transition it to roles, you look at, before, how was this card used to automate some of these payments? Who had access, who didn't have access, what could they have signed up to? So there's a lot of responsibility that comes with automation. So you don't just automate and go and sit down that, this is nice and done.
Automated.
Just like yes, yeah, automated. Just like Jide said, more like, move to a controller role, oversee the process and ensure that there's still, tight control in place and ensure that there's still adequate documentation, both for organizational use and even for audit purposes. So, yeah.
That's a lot, Simba. Well done. Thank you so much. I don't know if my other panelists have something to say. You want to add anything, or we should move to the next question?
Yeah, I think I just to add, the compliance aspect is very, very important, and to be able to have the audit trail of what we are doing. For example, if we are digitalizing all our invoices, then you need to make sure to know where are all your invoices, because it's very easy for the next trainee or someone coming in an internship just click the wrong button and delete everything, and then your 2, 3, 4 years of data collection is gone.
It's gone.
And this has happened, right? If you have your invoice in your storage, then you know where they are, and you need a fire to burn them. But if they are in the cloud or anywhere, the security around them can be quite a challenge. I think at least we need to be mindful. And there is something else, especially when we are, I would say, average size, mid-size company. We do a lot of development automation internally with our own IT people. We have 1, 2, 3 smart IT guys that are doing some work for us. But then the intellectual property of what they are doing needs to be very, very clearly defined, because it can happen that when they leave, they say, I worked on this project for 3 years, is my software. And then you are getting stuck into a discussion to whom belong all the work that they have done, or all the software or all the automation that they have done. I think this is quite a critical aspect. I'll say the last one is most probably your workforce, to make sure that your workforce is equipped to move to the next jobs, because otherwise you will end up with a lot of people to get rid of if it's not managed properly. I think this is upskilling timely your people is one of the key aspects.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. So Jide, over to you.
I think for some of us in regulated industries, we just need to be mindful of what regulation says in your space pertaining to this. There is an unspoken rule which is not being made into law, for instance, in financial services regarding customer data. If you're doing automation and there's residual data sitting on the automation software or infrastructure, and if that infrastructure is not sitting locally within Nigeria, you might be in contravention of some of the rules which are, I'm not check what the new data protection regulation is all about. It could have been entrenched in that. So just be mindful of some of those things, especially those of us in financial services. Customer account information, sort of required to be domiciled locally. You could put a lot of information abroad and Amazon Web Services, whatever, but yeah, customer account file needs to sit locally. They've not really enforced it. It's not been codified yet, but yeah, it could have been with the new data protection regulation that came out yesterday. But yeah, those are some of the unspoken rules that could easily land you in trouble. As you really know, it's going on all over the world. In Europe, it started in Europe and it's going around the world. By the time they make the law, a lot of people, you would not be aware. It just suddenly happens that, oh yes, you've contravened the law. If you remember clearly with the MTN fine, MTN has been breaking the rule, but they didn't realize until somebody said, okay, let me enforce the law, which MTN was a part of, putting together. And that's sort of how Google and Facebook and all the big companies run into data protection rules globally. So from where I see it right now, there isn't a lot, just that there are a lot of spoken rule. The second part is from a business perspective, we all know that the last US government, there was a lot of fight between China and America. And if you have, back then, if you have Chinese software, and even though you're a Nigerian company, you have Chinese software doing all kind of stuff for you. American investors don't like that. In fact, it's one of the reasons why they don't invest in certain companies. Yeah, if we invest in you, Chinese people have access to all the data you're processing, including ours. So there's some marketing subtlety when it comes to what software you're using. And with automation, people tend to forget because the software is not in your face. It's just working in the background. So you might have a lot of exposure in there that you're not privy to. So yeah, that's all I can think of right now.
Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for your insights. And finally, I would like to ask, is there any industry from your foresight that you think that automation would not work? Is there any industry now and in the future?
Bread and akara.
Because some people have the mindset that we cannot automate in my company. So I want you to debunk that.
If your company is bread and akara business, please don't automate it, leave it like that.
I like that. I like that. Thank you so much. So do we have any other question? Okay, I think we don't have any question. Any question?
There's going to be a bit, but depending on what you want to, or what aspect of it you want to automate.
Okay.
For the artistic industry, it may be a bit tricky. So unless you want to, you could automate the process aspect of it, but the actual talent may be tricky. But then if you work in such a sector, because I'm guessing people from that kind of industry may be the ones to have those kind of questions, you could look at the parts where you could automate. Like, automation doesn't necessarily mean you have to eliminate all human beings from the process. So you could just look at the process that happen and how you could make those, automate those to make it faster and more efficient, so that you could concentrate on the actual talent that you have to produce whatever artistic products that you are able to.
Yeah, thank you so much, Simba, for that. So I think I have one question here. It says that where you don't get management buy-in on the proposed automation plan, what is the hope for automating that particular process? If the management is not supporting your automation, is there really anything you can do as an employee?
Good luck with it. Good luck.
That's going to be difficult because for you to automate, most likely it's going to cost some.
Exactly. So you have to finance it yourself.
Someone is going to approve that. But then you could also just take your time to educate management. Management may not be aware, convince them, and see how you can push that. But if they outrightly reject it, then they're not going to make available any resources. But if they do make available resources, but they seem skeptical, they might just want you to prove it to them that truly it's, what you say it is. Then it becomes up to you at that point.
Right. So thank you so much.
To make you work.
Yeah, thank you so much. Trying to dot our I's and cross our T's before we wrap up this panel session. Do we have any other question?
I think there was a question quite interesting on the buy-in into payment approval workflow. And I think you see when it comes to payments on the approval workflow, I think as a finance people, we really need to enforce. And now it's not, those things are not nice to have. It's something that must be implemented to drive the right behavior in the company. And while for the previous question where it was, okay, if we don't have the buy-in of the management to also drive digitalization is something, but when it's come to payment approval on having a workflow in place, those things are critical, and this needs to be really pushed hard, because this is our, I would say, core activity, and if we will not get this right, then forget about anything else.
Thank you for answering that. Thank you so much. So as we draw this panel discussion to a close, it is evident that harnessing the power of automation requires a holistic approach, from compliance to many other things. It's not just something that you just wake up and say, oh, I want to automate this. Nah, it requires a lot of process. So I'd like to say a big thank you to all of our esteemed panelists, Jao, Jide, Simba, for sharing their invaluable insights and expertise on harnessing the power of automation for growth. The depth of your knowledge and perspective that you have brought to this conversation has truly enriched our understanding of the transformative topic. And yes, to my audience, on behalf of Duplo ECFO, I would like to say a big thank you to you. Thank you for participating. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for the fire emojis. Thank you for being an active contributor. Your presence and active involvement have made this discussion truly meaningful. I hope that this panel discussion has sparked new ideas, has ignited inspiration, and provided practical insights that can help you to apply all of this in your respective endeavors. So, as we leave this session, I'd like you to remember that automation is not merely a trend. It is a powerful tool. When harnessed effectively, it can unlock endless opportunities, and it can provide so many possibilities for growth. Thank you for listening. My name is Temitope Obayemi. See you on the other side.
Thank you, Temitope. You have done great. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
So, I think to conclude, we have Abasam from Duplo to wrap up for us. Abasam, you can have the floor.
Yeah, hi, thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Abasam Onya. I'm the commercial lead for Duplo for Finance. And it was actually a pleasure listening to everyone here today and hearing the different opinions from our finance leaders in different industries, if I might put it that way. And for all our finance professionals, it was actually really a pleasure hearing your questions. So just to wrap this up, this is a vote of thanks for everyone being here. And just to give you a little insight into us as Duplo, as a company, and what we are trying to achieve here. So why is this the right time to automate? I get this question all the time from prospective clients and everyone. And for me, it's quite simple. Most companies hope to scale. You hope to grow. You hope to get better and bigger. The truth is, automating right now, while your company, and this is for like SMEs or startups or evolving companies, it's easier to actually automate when you're smaller, so that when you grow, it's an organic growth. When you're already a massive company and you want to automate, there's a lot of backlog that was quite static that you need to bring into the automation process, as well as automating for your future endeavors. So it makes it a bit more complex at that point. Obviously, it's not impossible. We do it all the time. But I think at this time, it's always good for companies to start off now and not wait for down the line when they get bigger or when they actually think, oh, now I need this because I have so many time. When you've automated already, it's an organic. Also, never a good time there's never a bad time, sorry, to save money and to be more efficient. And I think at this point right now, if you automate, you always save money, you become more efficient. And as Mr. Ross said, it's very, very simple. You actually automate and you do things now, you actually get the benefit, you save money, and you actually save time. And those, colleagues of yours who feel like, oh, today you're taking away my job, you can actually deploy them in a more efficient role. And you can actually see that your bottom line will grow, and this will be better for your employee and all your stakeholders. And the second part of what I'm going to say is we want to introduce our new product that we just launched, which is called our automated accounts payable product. With this, there are 3 different things you can get from this. In real time, we can synchronize your accounting software to actually your Duplo platform. This way, you can actually synchronize your vendors from your accounting platform onto Duplo and actually create bills for your different vendors and pay those bills. And you can actually synchronize your unpaid and partially paid bills from your accounting software. And you can actually pay them on Duplo and have them automatically reconciled on your accounting software. This saves you time, it saves you money, and it also helps your finance professionals to be able to focus on a lot more things rather than spending hours having to do reconciliation work that takes such a long time. The second part is also our digital workflows and approval. So you can enjoy your speedy approval process through our policy-driven workflow. Here you can have your initiators, you can have your approvers, you can have your payers, you can have multi-levels of initiating, of approving, and of paying. And in this way, because it's policy-driven, you change the culture of your company to being a more policy-driven company, which actually gives you more structure within the company. And as you grow, you know that these policies will help you grow. They are a guide for people within your colleagues and everyone within your environment to actually know the culture of this company and how you want to grow. And this way, what we can do on our platform is we can actually help you stop, fraud or anything, because through this policy-driven workflow, it's actually broken down into different people, and different people can actually put in what they need to do at the same time, as well as adding supporting documents. And as I mentioned already, payments of bills and invoices, you can synchronize your unpaid bills and your invoices onto our platform from your accounting software. You can pay them and push them right back into that. And sorry, please, can I get the next slide? And to be quite honest, we are running a small promo now. If you can actually register with us within the next 15 days, you have access to our AAP, and this can include up to 250 free payouts until the end of July. So you actually need to register now. Here is a barcode and where you can actually booking a demo. We do have self-help and walkthroughs, self-help videos and walkthroughs that you can use on your own free time. But if you actually want a more in-depth demo, we're very willing to do that. So you can just book a demo with us. Our Calendly link is also here, booking a free time, and we'll take you through it. And once again, thank you guys. Thanks to everyone for actually showing up, and to our panelists and to our audience. You have been very great, and we do appreciate your time.
Thank you, Abbasam. There's a question around if all accounting softwares can be synced.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see that. So for now, we have synchronized 4 different accounting softwares. I think it's Xero, Zoho Books, QuickBooks Online, and QuickBooks Desktop. But yes, these are just proof of concept, and we can customize and synchronize into any accounting software you want. If you don't use any of those 4, we can always do a customization for you. Any other questions? I guess if there are no other questions, oh, there is? Okay. Can you please share the questions with me? Because I can see you said there's another question.
I think that was a response to Clementina's comment.
On Zoho, okay, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess if there are no other questions, Bisola, the floor is yours, and yeah.
Great. Thank you so much, Abasam. Thank you, everyone. Please confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Great. So once again, I would like to thank everyone for joining in. Our panelists, our moderator, Temitope, thank you so much. The session was very engaging. We gained a lot. Thank you, Rahul. Thank you, Jide. Thank you, Simbe. Thank you, Abasam. I believe everyone that attended this webinar today gained one or two things which they'll be able to implement in their respective roles. Since there are no other questions, I think we're a bit beyond the scheduled time. Thank you, everyone. We can get off now. Thanks to all the people that engaged. Thanks for your fire emojis, for your comments, for your questions. They really contributed to the impact of this webinar. We look forward to hosting you guys another time in the future. Do enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.